the second episode of this multi-part video series on VMware Aria suite of products and solutions. My name is Satya Shrestha, a senior staff multi-cloud solutions architect here at VMware. And together with me, I have Sajal Debnath, who is staff customer success architect at VMware. Welcome, Sajal.
Thank you, Satya, for having me here and for this collaboration.
And for those who don't know Sajal, he also happens to be a VCDX in cloud management. I feel really privileged to be hosting these sessions together with him.
Thank you, Satya, for the kind words.
So in today's video, we'll be covering the what and why of VMware Aria Automation. If you could remember, in our last video, we covered the consistent infrastructure, how VMware can run on any cloud and any app can be run on VMware infrastructure. That's what we covered in our last video. But today, our discussion topic is around consistent operations and specifically automation. So Sajal, why don't you take us through how and why is cloud management so important in today's multi-cloud world?
So Satya, if you remember last time, we talked about one of the major issues of a multi-cloud environment was lack of common visibility or lack of visibility across all these clouds. And then each one of these clouds have their own tools for visibility, but then there was a lack of a single pane of glass for looking at all these environments.
Absolutely.
So that is what Aria Automation provides. Specifically, if you look into what cloud management provides, it provides cost control, performance optimization, secure configurations, and then delivery automation. If you do not take advantage of all these areas, you are not properly utilizing your cloud. So that's the reason cloud management is so important.
Absolutely. And we're not talking about just one cloud, right? We're talking about multiple clouds, spanning from private cloud to hybrid cloud to public cloud, right?
That's true. I mean, if we are talking about a single cloud, then probably you have tools out there for that particular type of cloud. But then what lacks is when you talk about multi-cloud environment, a common platform that we were talking about earlier is a common platform which can give you visibility across all these areas, your private clouds, your partner clouds, your sovereign cloud, telco, edge, or even the native cloud environments. So that is what we are talking about here, that particular unified management solution for cloud native applications and multi-cloud environments. Right. That's what we are trying to focus.
And that's the consistent operations we're talking about, right? That covers cost,
right,
operations, as well as automation.
Right. And then it's not about the cost, operations, or automation only. What we have is Aria Hub, which gives you that visibility across all of that environment. So a single pane of glass, which gives you the visibility across all these various environments, and it shows you cost, and then also it gives you the other capabilities of operations and automation.
So I know we have recently rebranded VLI's suite to VMware Aria, and VMware Aria Hub is the latest addition to the family, isn't it?
Right. Yes. That is the latest addition. And then we will have a video session covering that particular product, how it works. Before that, we need to talk about what are the different areas where cost, operations, and automation, or the features it provides. So if you look into cost, it shows you various aspects like chargeback, your budget management, you migrate from one environment to other environment, how to impact it from cost perspective, right? And then from operations perspective, it should give you the full stack observability, infrastructure, and networking monitoring, along with log management, troubleshooting, and all of that features. And then automation, it provides configuration management, infrastructure as a code, very important aspect, CI/CD pipelines, orchestrator, security in terms of securing a host, cloud, the regulatory configs. So those are a few of the features that's provided by these three areas. And then there's Aria Hub that you were talking about, Satya, provide that common platform and data store across all these environments. These are tightly coupled together to bring out that customer outcomes or the solutions anchored by a near real-time map of application and cloud across these platforms.
So on this slide, we're talking about cost, operation, and automation and all the subcategories there. So VMware has the products and solutions with the cloud management, with the Aria products and solutions to actually help our customers with all these aspects, right?
Right. These and more, I would say.
I know that we have recently rebranded our products and solutions. Can you take us through what were the changes and what has been the new names for those products and solutions?
Thank you, Satya, for bringing that up. We had these products for long. It was branded under. We realized that entire suite of product has been rebranded as Aria, the major name change. So it's uniform throughout now. So it's Aria Automation, and then within automation you have various functionalities. Those are named as assembler, service broker, which we would see in short. So just keep this in mind. This slide, the overall product suite has been rebranded as Aria. The internal namings did not change that much. We will talk about the change as when we would go.
Exactly. And the highlighted component is specifically around the automation piece, right? Our suites of products and solutions that actually addresses automation.
Right. I have highlighted those because this video and an upcoming couple of videos, we are going to talk about Aria automation before moving on to auto operations. So that's why it's highlighted. We will talk about those product rebranded names and the functionalities. So we would cover those. This is a highlight of the name change.
Got it.
Right. Let's have a closer look at what are the functionalities that are there under Aria automation. Remember that this is the infrastructure, cloud infrastructure automation platform. It has assembler, service broker, pipelines, orchestrator, and config. Those are the major areas. Apart from that, we have Aria for secure hosts, which is an add-on service to the entire product portfolio. And we will talk about templates. Templates is not something as a new feature or a separate feature. It falls under everything, but then since it's so important, we will talk separately about that.
Right. So on this one, my question here is, we say VMware Aria Automation. So this is available both on premises as well as a SaaS version, right?
Yes, the entire Aria suite of products are available both on premises and SaaS version. And probably we can have a discussion about when you should choose and which one is provides you which functionality at what stage. We should have a separate discussion about that.
Absolutely.
Probably we would have that later. Right?
Yes.
So let's talk about Aria Automation Assembler. So Assembler is the infrastructure as a code and the templating service. Assembler is the service where you can go ahead and create your templates, which gives you the designing capabilities, set up the cloud organization, and then manage the workloads and extensibility. Aria Cloud Assembler, or say Automation Assembler, is the area where most of the times your application architects and cloud architects would go there and work there. And then the next portion is the service broker. Right? So service broker is for your end users. This provides the cataloging functionalities. At the back end, it can go to any public clouds, private clouds, or those various environments that we have talked about. The ones that would cover or configure into assembler, you just create catalogs and then expose them into service brokers. Your end users would come here, and then based on the policy that is enforced, they would see their catalogs that are shared with them, and they would consume the catalogs.
Got it. So this is something like a self-service portal for the end users. Is that right?
Yes. For the end users, they can just come here and consume the services. That's it. They don't need to know what is going at the back end.
Right. And as you said, it can actually have the catalog from either private cloud as well as any cloud vendors, right?
Yes. You would build those catalogs in Assembler and then expose them to the service broker. After you expose them into service broker, we would call them catalog items. Before them, we would call them templates. Right. So we will see the difference and why I say so later on in upcoming videos. But then just remember this in mind. When it comes to service broker, it becomes a catalog. When it's in assembler, it's cloud templates.
Makes sense. Different persona, different names. Got it. Yep.
Right. So the next in line is pipeline. Pipeline is, it provides you the CI/CD capabilities. It comes with troubleshooting and analytics and all of that. But then what it provides you is the speeding of the software. Exactly why CI/CD pipelines we use. It's the same pipelines. It's out of the box pipeline dashboards, and then you can leverage existing tools. In the sense, you can plug in your existing CI/CD tools that you have in your environment into pipelines to build out those pipelines to automate the life cycle of the softwares. And this is very interesting tool. We will have a detailed discussion on that and video showing the capabilities, how I can deploy end-to-end applications using pipelines.
Right. Got it.
And then after that, we have orchestrator, because when you try to automate workloads in a cloud environment or across cloud environments, you need to orchestrate those workloads.
Mhm.
Actually, the automation platform is some way we say it's an abstraction layer to provide automation across or on top of the virtualization layer, right?
Yep.
So we need to have an orchestrator to orchestrate the manual tasks that you do. It provides you deliver consistent remediation. It enables you to customize and extend automation. Aria Automation, out of the box, it provides you infrastructure as code capabilities and other capabilities. But what makes it stand out from other solutions is its easy extensibility option. We say it's SaaS platform, anything as a service. Since the orchestrator and the other functionality, the extensibility, lets you programmatically do what you want, the possibilities become endless. If you can think of a service, you can build that service.
Right. So everything can be called using REST APIs and all the API that developers are used to, right?
Yes, and many more. So API calls are raw calls. You can go ahead and utilize or write your own codes. But then it provides you plugins with known solutions so that you don't have to do the manual REST API calls.
All right.
You get out of the box plugins for various solutions.
Yes.
It's very helpful.
And then do you have a community who builds that kind of solution as well?
Yes, you do have communities, and within VMware also, we have a lot of people developing those plugins. There are example workflows. So that is a very robust and thriving community out there.
Right.
But moving on to the security portion, the config, because when you come to cloud, we talked about consistency across all these platforms. Config portion actually provides you that functionality where you can do the out-of-the-box software configuration management. The config management portion is done by automation config.
Right.
And the beauty of it, write all of that within the template itself. So you can say within the template that, hey, I want this machine to be of this state, and then just deploy it across any environment. It will abide by that.
Right. So you can deploy the same configuration on all the environments, whether it is private cloud, for example, AWS, Google Cloud Platform, or AVS, or Azure VMware solution, or even Azure, right?
You can build out those kind of solutions because it's based out of Salt Stack, which is very robust and then industry proven. The advantage of using Aria Automation is in the GUI, in the template, you can build the Salt Stack config there.
Right.
So it would be consistent across all that environment. You configure it once and use it wherever you want. That's the motto of it. Build it once, use it multiple times.
Yep. Build it once, deploy it multiple times. Yeah, I like it.
And then we have something new, which is Aria Automation for secure hosts. This is an add-on which does not come by default within the bundled software. It actively ingests the various vendor advisories and then scans your environments and then builds the remediation workflows. So you don't have to go ahead and manually scan all those environments and then say whether I'm compliant to the security and regulatory requirements. It actually detects and fixes the compliance drift with the automated remediation for your environments, physical environments.
And it also suggests what is the compliance like, how you can remediate that, all that sort of thing, right?
Yes. As you can see in the screen, it shows like whether you are critical, you are high, medium, different layers, and what you can do to solve this problem. And it gives you the trend as well. So it's a very handy tool to make your environment secure across the environments.
Yeah, this is going to be super helpful for operations team to look at their workloads, to look at their servers and all the infrastructure and see what is the security posture. And with all these recommendations, it will be really easy for them to remove those vulnerability. I like the way that we have actually designed this product. This is great.
Yeah, I mean, remember that we talked about that in last video, that what we need is that consistent infrastructure first thing, consistent operation, and then consistent secured policies across all that environment.
Yes.
That's what we need, right? And that's what this provides.
Excellent.
And then the last one is the templates. It's not a separate functionality. It is there in the assembler portion. When you log in there, you build a template, but it needs to be mentioned because this is at the heart of everything. Yep. This is where you can either graphically build your templates, your solutions, whatever complex application that you have. You may have 3-tier application with multiple layers in between, multiple components in between. You can build out all of that. This can be cloud agnostic. Generally, we make it cloud agnostic. That means it can be deployed across any environments. That's what the purpose is. or you can write your own code in YAML format as infrastructure as code, and then you can distribute it the version control system so that you can collaboratively work on that application.
Right. So we can use it as we can check in on things like GitHub and then have version control and then work together with multiple people, right?
Yep. I can pull from there and then see the changes that my application architect made, and then expose it to the end user so that they can utilize the newer versions.
Right.
One point I want to mention here is the ease with which I can build the templates. Or probably Aria Automation is one of the leading solutions which gives you these functionalities where you don't need to know what YAML coding. I work with YAML code, JSON formats, and all of that, but then that becomes pretty cumbersome. When you try to write it, notepad and everything, the chances of error. But here, I can not only just click and drag, build it graphically in the YAML format on the right side that you see. It will guide you what are the functionalities, what are the parameters are there, what are the parameters that you can utilize for that particular area. If there are an error, it will tell you exactly what the error. It's very interesting, very intuitive and helpful. We would have a look at those when probably next video. But then this is probably unparalleled with the ease of operation. From that
so this is like the end user at mind. That's how VMware had designed it, right? So you can just use this like a visual builder, drag and drop the components there, and it will actually generate the YAML on the backend for us, right? And if someone who really wants to play with YAML, of course, they can just go and do all those things on YAML too, isn't it?
Yes. I mean, we would see the extent it goes to make end users comfortable, though it is infrastructure as code. But then it is kept in mind the administrators who come from vSphere world, administrators like me, who are not developer inherently. I develop, but then inherently I am an administrator.
Yeah, would love to see that demo, man, when we are in that portion. But yeah, would love to really see how it actually creates that easy interface to build YAML and all of that. Yeah, it would be good.
Right. So if we summarize Aria Automation, first of all, cloud agnostic template. That means I write a template and then it can go to any environment. It provides me the extensibility and customization functionalities, which gives the SaaS functionalities, I would say. And then it provides a self-service multi-cloud environment. The catalog that you have seen, it can go to any environment. That means I, as an end user, without knowing anything about Azure or AWS native cloud, can deploy workload there. I don't need specified skills to do that. And then centralized policies and government, configuration management, and infrastructure pipeline. These are the key features Aria Automation provides.
Yeah, it's a very, very enterprise-grade automation tool.
Yes, and then if we summarize all of that, we have seen our customers do. They got 15% cost savings from infrastructure resource utilization, faster deployment for their workloads, 5 to 6 hours saved per VM on deployment and lifecycle management. From my personal experience working with government customers, I have seen they have time required for them to deploy, end-to-end deploy. An application in their environment was like weeks because of the approvals that needed from the various teams and the time they needed to come back. We brought it down to 6 hours, including the approvals and stuff. 6 hours, 7 hours, from days to weeks to 6, 7 hours.
So is it because that they have made the whole automation workflow efficient, and then all those approval processes are also part of those workflow? How did you reduce that time?
Yeah, so first of all, everything manual is automated, the deployment and all of that. The approval process, it is automated in the sense it sends out an email to the end users or a group of users saying, hey, you have this approval pending for you. So they can simply reply back to that email, and that would again trigger the deployment. So that is entire process is automated. You don't need to go to separate ticketing system. Like earlier, what happened? You deploy your VM, then raise a ticket with network security team saying, hey, open the firewall port for me, right? Can you do the security check for me? Here with network automation, network security automation, everything integrated into the template. It is by default, on the runtime. You get your security, you get your network. You don't need a separate approval for that. So that saves the time. For security teams, it sends out automated email. This is pending for you. Go ahead and check. They do their check and then reply back to that email. And then it's approved. It goes to production. So that's how it actually helps.
Yeah, this sounds really good, Sajal. A really great, excellent example there. And love to hear this kind of anecdotes from the field. Awesome, man.
So if we summarize, we have Aria Automation, which provides you the automated functionality. Then we have Aria Operations, which gives you the monitoring, managing capabilities for that entire environment. You have logging, Aria Logs for viewing and management. And then we have Aria Operations for network, which manages the network flow and then gives you end-to-end visibility into networks.
Yep.
We have Aria Cost, which gives you the costing. We have automation for secure clouds, the Skylight, and then Aria Hub powered by Aria Graph. So today we are focusing on Aria Automation, and the next coming few videos we will talk about Aria Automation related topics. But we will cover all of these products in this video series one after other.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, like you said, in this series of video, we are just focusing on Aria Automation. And as we saw earlier, Aria Automation itself is such a huge product and solution, right? So I know that there will be interesting conversations on all these other components as well. So what is coming next for next videos?
In the next videos, we will be talking about demystifying tags in Aria Automation. We will start our discussion with tagging, and then we will showcase setting up Aria Automation, the configuration portion of it. Then we will talk about templates, deep dive into templates, what are the variables, how we can write extensive templates. We would go to service broker, where we would define policies. And then in the end, we will talk about pipeline, where we can automate your end-to-end infrastructure and then software development, deployment, all of that. So this would cover the Aria Automation portion of it, and then we move to Aria Operation.
I know there's a lot to cover here, right? And like we said earlier, this is first out of many in this video series. Excellent.
I would say to our viewers who are more into hands-on and technical stuff, wait for one more video, and after that we will go into that. But it's extremely important to talk about tagging when it comes to cloud and cloud management, so which we are going to cover in the next video.
Yeah, absolutely. I look forward to the tagging. I know tagging is the basic for most of the cloud deployments, and VMware Cloud is not an exception. So I'll look forward to that video.
Yep.
Thanks, Sajal, for covering what and why of VMware Aria Automation. I found it very insightful and informative. And I know our viewers would also feel the same. That's it for this video. Thanks, everyone, and see you on next video. Bye, all.
Bye, everyone.